Okay, so let's look at what else we can do with tiling now. So we've got some background elements, right? We have our clouds that are tiled, the sunsets is tiled, and the mountains that are tiled. And of course we have these platforms just laid out right here. I'm going to go ahead and actually delete these. Just some platforms, basically so I could take Juno way over to the right and show you that everything's tiling. So let's go ahead and add some more sprites here. Now where is it at? Platforms 2. I came up with this sprite here, which is actually just, really similar to this one right here. And what I want to do is actually tile it. So, whoops, I didn't need to do that. I want it right there. And I'm going to kind of give it this look like, maybe this whole thing's a floating island or something. There's going to be a patch of ground that she can run across. And then, below there'll be, well, we'll move the sunset up like this. Okay, let's do that. Okay, yeah, I like that idea. And that way it'll look like there's actually just like some floating space down here or something. And so I've got this piece right here, and I'm going to actually increase its size. And rather than increasing it to 3 and 3, which is what I was originally thinking, I want to tile it so that it's overlapping a little bit, just because I have round edges and there's not a gap then, so it looks like, it'll end up looking like Juno's able to walk over space like that. So what I'm going to do first is go ahead and add my box collider. Okay, box collider, easy enough, nothing we haven't seen before, and just kind of bring it down like so that Juno can walk. I'm going to bring it down a little bit so it looks like she's kind of in the weeds some, okay? And let's see, what else can we do here? That should work right there. And you know what? I have this tree. Why not just slap this tree on there? Okay, and we'll go ahead and increase the size of the tree a little bit here to 2 and 2. There. Just put something on the ground just for the fun of it. Okay, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, that'll work. Why not? She'll actually walk behind it, I'm sure. Let's see here. So let's go to scripts, drag that tiling script, make sure that platforms is selected, and drop that in. Okay, now, well, I need to set this to actually 3.2, but let's go ahead and set it to 3 for now, just to show you why. When Juno drops down here, you see these little gaps? My box collider is going to go to the very edge, and so it's going to make it look like, see that, like she's floating right there, and I don't like that. Loving my little cherry blossom tree, though. So I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I'm going to set this to 3.2. Okay, 3.2. And what that's going to do is overlap a little bit, but since I made these rocks so they overlap, it's not going to look really that weird. Okay, and let's jump down here and take a look. Okay, see that, how they overlap? Okay, that works perfect. Now, the cool thing about this is that when you tile, it's going to actually tile the sprites and the box collider around the sprites. So see that? I can just keep going. And maybe the box collider could be a little bit higher because she's sure now down deep like that. Looks kind of funny, so I'll probably bring it up just a touch. But anyway, I kind of want her to be down in the weeds down here because that's not really where the game is. It's going to be up in these platforms, okay? Because that's what I want, so her to be able to get up in these platforms, and we'll create some things that she can move and bounce on and things like that, okay? So that's how that's going to work. That, and I'm loving, that she can get up in the clouds. And so that's just how this game works. And if you look down below, it's kind of like a floating island or floating in space. It's blue right now. The reason why it's blue, actually, let me stop, is the main camera is set to that color, okay? So maybe I could make it more like, I can make it black and it'll actually look like space. Let's see how that looks. I don't know if that's going to look good or not. And I actually don't really like the black that much. I think I'm going to go ahead and change it back. But again, main camera, background color, and we'll just kind of make it a bluish color like so. That should work. And let's check it out. Okay, and again, you can just use that color for your background color if you want to. And I don't like that color quite either, but anyway, that's how that works. And this did work with a floating island. So I kind of have like a floating mountain island here with a, I guess, a sunset on top. Whatever, it doesn't have to make sense. It's a game. But I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of soften that blue up a little bit just because. Okay, so let's start building up some more platforms. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that platform, bring it, whoops, paste, bring it up over here just to give her some stuff to kind of jump around on. Okay, paste another one, bring that right here. Let's see, we'll paste another one, over here, bring it up. So there's some stuff for her to jump on. And we have these bouncing platforms here, which are pretty cool, you know, and so it'd be fun to maybe set up some areas that she absolutely can't quite make it to unless, you know, she jumps on these things. So we can move a few of these around as well. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, what I want to do is set up a destroyer, okay? Let's go ahead and just see how our layout is so far, okay? And again, I'm just making this up as I go along, so maybe some of these won't quite fit as they should. Okay, that's not, Juno's not liking that too much. But, oh, I can't get up there. All right, so gives us a nice little world to play around on. And for right now, if she falls down, she's going to just land on the ground, okay? All right, so that's pretty cool. What I want to do is let's go ahead and play around with a destroyer now. So we already have a destroyer script, and we did have that quad right there. That, you know, that was just to catch Juno in the game before. And let's see, what we're going to do is I have some spikes. Let's see. Okay, now, since the last video recording, I actually added 2 more sprites here because I realized that even though I really like this platform, I want Juno to be able to walk on the top of it, but the spikes on the bottom I want to be deadly. So I ended up separating the sprites. Okay, so I've got this, just some spikes made in Illustrator, super easy, and then some rocks. Okay? Okay, so what I want to do is bring some spikes in, okay? And I'm going to rotate them. So when you get to the corner here, right when the arrows are facing like this on your cursor, that means you're going to increase the size. If you move it up a little more, it changes to that little circle, and that just means you can rotate. So I'm going to rotate my spikes like that, and Juno has no idea how dangerous this is. Okay, I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to take these rocks and move them up here on top, like so, okay? Oh, wait, no, I'm going to rotate them this way. So Juno has a flat platform to stand on, okay? Because these are both odd-shaped objects, I'm going to add polygon colliders, not box colliders. So physics 2D, polygon colliders. Okay, looking good. Okay, and let's see. And down here, I'm going to select the spikes. I'm going to go to physics 2D, polygon collider, and okay, that's actually going to be just fine. Oh, I'm going to set is trigger as well. Okay, so. Okay, and I'm going to move some of my objects around a little bit, like so, and like so, whoops, like so that she can, well, I guess she'll need to be like right there, so she can get up on top of the spikes. Okay, so let's see here. So we're going to get Juno up on top, and there is a polygon collider, so she can stand on this thing no problem. Okay, but what I want is I want the spikes on the bottom here to actually be a trigger. Okay, now we have a polygon collider, but she's not colliding with it because it's set to being a trigger, which means that it doesn't actually create a surface that she can interact with besides triggering when she crosses the boundaries of the spikes, in this case triggering the end of the game. Okay, so how we're going to do that is I'm going to come back to scripts. Okay, so I've got my spikes selected, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my destroyer script. Okay, and I'm going to drop it right here. And it is giving me a warning right now just about this shape and how the polygon collider put the shape around it. But you know what? It's going to be just fine. Let's see here. That's what I'm talking about right here. Okay, because this is just a pretty difficult thing for it to go around with all these thin spikes on top. But for what we are doing, it's perfectly accurate. So we have a destroyer script in place now. So let's go ahead and now Juno's got to be careful. If Juno jumps right now, it's going to end the game. So let's just get up here. And she can stand on the platform, and that's just fine, okay? However, if she goes down here, and let's get her up in here, and she jumps into the spikes, ugh, game over, okay? So now we have some destroyers. We have this deadly thing right here, okay? Now there's some things that we can do with this. It is a platform, so let's see here. What I'm going to do is create an empty game object, okay? Empty game object. And we're going to call this spike platform, okay? Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to grab my rocks and my spikes and drag them onto that game object, okay? And now that's like creating, a symbol in Adobe Edge Animate or pre-comping in After Effects, okay? So now these things are both childs of my spike platform. So I can apply some things to the spike platform, okay? And of course, now I can move this thing around and they're all attached together, which is great. So I'm gonna move this over right here and move it down a little bit. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add a physics 2D slider joint 2D. Okay, slider joint 2D. Now, these things here, the anchor, I'm going to actually just move these right onto that for now and just get them out of the way. I'm going to do a very simple move using the motor. So I'm going to select use motor, okay? And I'm going to set this right now to -50, okay? Oops, I guess, well, -40. -40. And let's press play. Okay, you can see my spikes are moving now, right? So now I've got this object here that I can get on top of, and if I get stuck in a situation, you know, if you set up some kind of situation where Juno's got to jump before the spikes come, she could get stuck in here. You know, for example, if she wanted to get on the other platform right now, she probably wouldn't be able to do it if she jumped right now. Ugh, game over. Okay, and you can now, let's go ahead and set this to -100. Okay, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it's moving a lot faster. Okay, not so fast. This definitely is not the most complicated game, but these platforms are pretty cool anyway because you can use them to move around on, okay? And, of course, you can move around other things as well using the slider joint 2D or the slider joint 2D, yeah? So, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and select this bouncy platform and that we made from, you know, a previous video. And we'll go ahead and put a joint slider on that as well, okay? And again, I don't want this to actually be set to 0, so I'm going to go ahead and just put this right here, okay, on the anchors. And let's see, what should we set the motor to? We'll go ahead and set the motor to, oh, let's set it to -150, just something extreme, just for fun, okay? And honestly, maybe we ought to move this over here in the process, and I'll get my little anchor over there as well. Okay. Okay, so Juno's got to get out of the way before the spikes come, and you can see that platform up there. It's moving, okay? But if you get up on it, oh, can I get up on it? Nope, there we go. Ugh. Okay, now she's able to bounce, okay? So you can imagine all kinds of obstacles you could set up now where you can't reach the other side until you wait for the platform, and you could, you know, who knows, put spikes down below her or destroy her where it's, you know, she dies if she doesn't make it. And, of course, we got some serious jumping going on. And luckily, if we drop down, we have tiled the ground. So she's good to go anyway.